Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this Christmas card making tutorial. This is the lovely card I have to share with you today. Isn't it sweet? It features the Jar of Joy stamp set and it has a matching punch, and I just love these little jars here, and in the centre jar you've got your sentiment. It's just so sweet, really cute. So let me show you how I made this gorgeous card. Let's set that aside out of harm's way and let me show you the stamp set. It's this one called Jar of Joy. You've got the jar on the little lid, and then you've got all these lovely things you can put inside your jar. So let's start off by stamping our jar. So we need a block and we need some Memento Tuxedo black ink. Let's see, there we go. So I'm also going to bring in my simple chamois, which is this looks a mess, looks very well loved, but it still works a treat. It just keeps on giving. I've had this for a number of years and it just really works so well for cleaning up my stamps. So we're going to stamp 3 little jars. So that's 1. Now there is another stamp set in the online exclusives and I just can't think of the name, but I will link it below. It also matches this punch, so it's really a versatile punch. It has 2 sets that it matches, and of course you can use it on its own as well. There we go, 3 little jars. Sounds like a song from Gilbert and Sullivan. Okay, and then we want our little lid here, so let's put this down here. And I'm just going to stamp these here. Lovely. Okay, so that's our lid. So now we're going to stamp some things to put inside of our pretty jars, and I think one of the things I'm going to do this time is different. Use the snowman, which I really like. So let's put him there. Isn't that cute? I love the way they sized just to fit perfectly. So I'm going to close up this ink pad here, because I think I've done all my black stamping. And then I'm going to bring in some other colours. Let's have a look. I'm going to bring in some green, I think. And we have here for him this little hat and scarf. And I think I want to do this in green. So what I'm going to do is put it down there so I don't by any way pick it up like that, so that I don't change the stamp set in any way or stretch it, I should rather say. I'm going to go straight in. Sorry if my head's on the camera, but you need to be right over the thing to see. There we go. And let's see what else we're going to do. I think I'm going to give that a little clean there. Trying to put this back where it came from, and I am going to go in, I think, with some black again. So I'm just going to close that up quickly. I changed my mind, as I'm warned to do, and I'm just going to put in some snow. Don't match us. That is so cute. Okay. Right. I'm going to put that down there. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to stamp again in red my sentiment. So I'm going to bring this in here. I'm going to use the same sentiment as before. I'm going to use the grid paper to try and get it straight. Pick that up, ink that up nicely, tap tap tap. Again, look straight through, down, hold, hold, hold. There we go. I think I'm going to go for the gingerbread man again. So I'm going to get rid of those two. I'm going to bring in some crumb cake. And the gingerbread man is also a 2-part stamp. So let me find the bits that we want first, which are these here. Ink this up really nicely, and you're just going to there we go. And then we've got to have the last little bit of our gingerbread man, just that. So I'm going to go in with, you can see my hands are all inky again. However hard I try, it always happens. I'm going to go in with some pecan pie, whatever you want to call it. And this is 2-step stamping again, so you really want to get over the stamp so you can see exactly what you are doing. There we go. Isn't that lovely? There's our little gingerbread man. So cute. Okay. So I think that is all of our stamping done and dusted. So close up all our tabs. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Put everything away. And I just want to colour the lids in quickly because I didn't want them to be clear, so I used some markers here, Stamp and Blend alcohol markers. So I've got real red, and I'm going to go in with the dark colour first. That's just really simple, quick and really simple colouring. I'm not fuffing around here. I'm just going in with my dark on one side to get a little bit of shadow, and then I'm going to blend it out with my lighter colour. So really easy, simple colouring. I mean, you could make the lid whatever colour you wanted. You can have, but I just kept a very simple, very traditional colour palette here of red and green, mainly because it matched the designer series paper as well in the background. Okay, so there we have those. And then when I did the other one, the other one here, where I had these lights, I used some of my daffodil to light for the baubles rather as well. Okay, so let's get rid of that, and I'm going to just separate this from the rest of the cardstock. This is scrap for another day, so let's keep that out of harm's way. I'm going to separate my jars. Now you can create a template so you can stamp, you can cut, you can punch your jar and lid together. I have tried that personally, and there's something wrong with me because it doesn't work for me. However hard I try, I still seem to get things a little bit off. It just doesn't want to work. So I'm going to use some post-it note tape because I've cut these quite close and I need a little handle. So let's do that. So here is the first one of our jar, and you can see here I need just a little handle here on the edge, just so I have something to hold on to when I put this into my punch. And that's, you're just going to punch that. So I'm going to punch all of these out and the lids, and I'll see you in a second. Okay everyone, I've punched everything out. Now this little snowman, when I stamped it initially, I knew I was doing something wrong, but I just couldn't figure out what, and I figured it out. Took me a bit of time, I tell you. Sleep deprived is not good look. So I stamped it again. You can see here what I should have done. This should have been around his little hat, and I knew something was wrong there, but I just couldn't figure it out. So when I did, I re-stamped it, and there we have a little image. So there you go. That was my boo-boo for today. Right, let's make our card. Our card base this time is going to be real red. Last time it was garden green, but we're going to change it up a little bit, and this is going to be real red. And then I've got a piece here of basic white that's going to go on the inside for the insert. Now all the measurements for this card and the supply list, etc., will be available on the blog post, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. You'll also find out all my social media links. You know, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all the normal sort of stuff, so I'd love for you to come and follow me there. I also have a Facebook group where people can share their creations that they've made, so that would be lovely for you to do that. I'd welcome you to come and join us in our crafting community. So now I've got a piece of garden green. I'm going to layer this on the front of my card. Just centre it top to bottom, side to side. And then I've got a piece here of the designer series paper, and I'm going to put this on here. And this is the Christmas tags and more designer series paper. Let me see. No, I'm going to use this side here. Both are so pretty, I tell you. The paper is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But I'm going to use this one with the mistletoe rather. And there. Just going to have a little bit of a map there. Isn't that sweet? Okay. So now time to put down our little images. So I think we're going to have our snowman here. So I'm just going to put this one down with some Tombow. Roughly around there, because that's where he's fallen. And then I'm going to put down a little gingerbread family here. So roughly, sort of, I'm just eyeballing this the best I can. Maybe a little bit towards further out. It will do. And then we're going to put down our sentiment one, and this one I've popped up on some dimensionals. So let's just take the backings off. And I'm generous with my dimensionals. I don't want this sagging in the middle in the post when it goes to the rollers or something, so I'm going to put this one just a little bit forward. Make sure it's straight. Happy? Yes. So push that down. And then I've got our lids, and I've just used some foam strip on this. I'm just going to put one on each little jar. It's just so cute. And you can see why I've just kept a very simple colour palette here, nothing too fancy, very traditional. I've, as I said, matched the colours in the paper. This one is just green, but in the previous one there was also red, and I've just kept to those colours. That's what told me what to do. Now I'm going to get some ribbon. This is from my stash, but it matched There is some ribbon as well in the catalogue, but I've been trying to use up what I've got in my stash rather than buying too much new that I have bought, and just focusing on buying for me stamp sets, because that's what I really love. So that's what I want to spend my money on. So, but I will link for you some lovely red ribbon that's in the current catalogue, so you can see that. Okay, get rid of that, and then we're going to just use some good old whatchamacall these things, not dimensionals, glue dots. Give it a press down. I like that. It's nice in the corner there. And then I've got some of these peppermint red and white peppermints. I'm just going to scatter a couple, well, 2 or 3 maybe, around through my maybe one here somewhere. Yeah, that'll be enough. I'm just going to move this one there, like that. Let's move that all aside. See, there's the card we made today, and here's the one I made before. You can tell me which paper you like. You can see where I got my inspiration for my colours. Crumb cake, it's all there in the paper. So there are 2 lovely Christmas cards featuring the Jar of Joy stamp and matching punch. I hope you've enjoyed this Christmas card making tutorial. If you have, I'd be grateful if you could give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Take care. Bye.